Well, hello, hello. Hey, Team Rockets Hideout. Welcome, welcome. And hey to my whatnot people too. I mean, my YouTube people too. Oh, it just hit my YouTube. Welcome in, SJ. Welcome, welcome. So, Mini Peanut, Nina Peanut. That's a cute name. Nina Peanut. Oh my goodness. I love it when people make the cutest IDs on here. Okay. So the first book I have up, and I'm a slow seller. I'm not like a sudden death or quick, so you have to bear with me. This is actually an action and suspense book called Secrets to the Grave by Tami Hoag. This is the condition of the book. It's a 2016. I have a cheat sheet back here that I pull out. So this is Secrets to the Grave, by Tami Hoag. And it says, the 911 call from a small child sends the idyllic California town of Oak Knoll into a tailspin. A brutal crime scene is discovered. The body of Marissa Fordham with her young daughter, Haley, injured but alive. Sheriff Detective Tony Mendez faces a puzzle with nothing but pieces that won't fit to assist with his witness. Haley, he calls teacher turned child advocate, and Leone, who's already the star witness in a sensational murder trial. As Tony and Ann begin to peel back the layers of Marissa Fordham's life, they find a clue, a fragment here, another there, and just when it seems Marissa has taken her secrets to the grave, they uncover a fact that puts Ann and Haley directly in the sights of a killer. And you can tell it's a little bent, like maybe the person that read it kind of held it like this or something. Oh, there's a little bend in the page. But I try to show you that the story is here. I go through all my books to make sure you get the true pages that aren't ripped out or anything, because I've had that happen to me before. So this is the first one. And of course, I'm going to run it for 30 seconds because I'm a slow person. Oh, hey there. There's Care. We have the Disabled Artist Foundation, who I have always talked about over here. They're a great fundraising foundation for people with limited mobility and under the poverty level for you to help get things shipped to them for free. That's what they do. They ship items to craft with, and they even participate, which is really cool, into creating stuff through their program. So follow the Disabled Artist that's in here. It's a great foundation. I've been promoting them since I have been here because they're one of my favorite foundations, besides my animal ones too. And Foster Friends Thrift is another good one. Uh, I think it's Requiem for Roses. She is the one that raises money for dogs. She works for an animal shelter. And it's just so nice when they have foundations that you can pick and choose who to help and stuff. I love it. So that's the first book of the day. And welcome in, everybody. If there's anything you want to see, I'll go out of order. Just let me know. And I'll show you the condition of the book and tell you what it's about. And here is the next book. This one's called The Silenced by Heather Graham. And this one here has Honor. I think that might have been another book company that this came from. It's on there, and it's got a little bit. You can tell it's been loved. And there's a little bit of people putting their initials in because they read it. This is a 2015. And on the back, there's a little, looks like a little, I don't know if it's a little water stain. But I want you to know the flaws in the books too. That's why a lot of my books I sell cheap, because I'm a used bookstore, not a new one. So here is, where is Laura Mayhew? Laura is a congressman's media assistant, suddenly quits her job and disappears on the way to her Washington, D.C. apartment. Novice FBI agent Meg Murray, a childhood friend of Laura's, gets a message from her at the same night, a message that says she's disillusioned and going home to Richmond, Virginia. Meg discovers that she never got there, and bodies fitting Laura's description are showing up in nearby rivers. Could she be the victim of a serial killer? And it's basically, I try to give it a not too long a synopsis read because I want the book to be a surprise too. So here is this one. I love my books though, always have. And I'm going to wait for, I don't know if he'll be in here or not. I had a mod last time and he was really a good mod. See if I could get him in here. Because I'm a little late tonight. Usually I'm on at 7, but I had to take my pooch out. She comes first. So she had a vet appointment today. And just to see, let me see if I can do this. So you see what moderators, if you're still in here, care. I made you a moderator so you can see what features moderators have, if you're interested. It's pretty cool. Definitely different over here. Okay, so that is that book. You're welcome, because I want you to experience it. So you get to experience all the fun we get to do over here. And then here is the next book. This is action and suspense, so it's going to be mysteries and all that good stuff. Death of a Cookbook Author. I like the picture. It's got a little kitty on books. And this is in really good shape. It's a 2018. Still got the honor on it, stamp, but not on the bottom. And this one here, it says, when Haley's idol cookbook author and TV personality Penelope Janice invites her to participate in a 4th of July celebrity cook-off at her seaside estate in Seal Harbor, Maine, Haley couldn't be more flattered. She just hopes that she can measure up with who's who, the famous chefs whipping up their signature dishes. This is a holiday weekend with all the that has all the ingredients for a once-in-a-lifetime culinary experience. Instead, Haley gets food poisoning her first night and thinks she overhears 2 people cooking up a murder plot. The next morning, a body is found at the bottom of the cliff. Tragic accident or foul play? Got to read the book to find out. And if this gets blurry, sorry. I don't have autofocus on, but sometimes this camera's finicky. Pretty! So, Pretty, I want you to meet Care. Let me make you to moderate. Hold on. Pretty is the one that helped me, Care. She don't want people to know she's nice, but she is. And she has sarcasm, which makes her even better. But anyways, she's the one that gave me a lot of tips and helped me learn how to navigate through whatnot. So she's one of my biggest teachers when I couldn't find the buttons. And her job is very interesting. Pretty, tell Care what you do for a living, you poor woman. Okay. I feel bad for her. I can only imagine. Oh. So here is Play Dead by Harlan Coben. Another action suspense book. It says a taller looking book, but this one's in really good condition. From 2010. It says, there's a marriage made in tabloid heaven, but no sooner had supermodel Laura Ayres and Celtics star David Baskin said I do than tragedy struck. While honeymoon on Australia's Great Barrier Reef, Dave went out for a swim and never returned. Now widowed and grieving, Laura has 1,000 questions and no answers. Her search for the truth will draw her into a web of lies and deception that stretches back 30 years, while on the court at the Boston Garden, a rookie Phenom makes his spectacular debut. So there you go. Another whodunit. And whoever made purchase in my store, let me see here. Somebody made a purchase. Thank you so, oh, Care. Thank you so much for your purchases. That's so sweet. I have to go into the store part to see because I couldn't see when I come in. The buy it now pops up on my phone when I'm in here, and the like when I'm not selling, and the first time buyer purchases. Thank you. I don't see them unless I catch them out of the corner of my eye and look up because it's so fast. So sometimes I don't catch them. Thank you for your first purchase too. And here is the next book, which is The Oath of Honor. This one here is by Matthew Bentley. It's really good condition too. 2017. This one's in the remote Aleutian Islands. A cunning Russian plot is unfolding. A covert team is attempting to steal top secret next generation technology from the United States. Logan West is an operative with the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force, Gabil. This is more of a military type thing. Is sent to investigate a potential breach. This resulting confrontation triggers a global search for stolen secrets and threatens to pit the United States against China in a looming shadow war. It's interesting when you see some of the titles on these type of books and things that's really going on. I don't know, but it's a global conspiracy type of book. Well, I hope that you have fun in the new place. Hey, Smudge. Welcome, Devinson. Welcome, welcome. All right. I see you so pretty. And it is like a revolving door over here. You see people going in and out, in and out, in and out. Sometimes they say hi, sometimes they don't. Oh, thank you. Aw, cheers to you, Smudge. Hey, Nicole's Life and Lambrook. Welcome in. Thank you for your purchase of my book. I have to put your name in it. And if you're not following disabled artists, please do. Please, please do. I'm always trying to give them a shout out because the platform's on YouTube too. So, you know, it's just a great foundation to support. Here is the next book. This one here is called wait a minute. My thing just went shoo and it flew. Use of Force. This is by Brad Thor. Good condition. And this is actually a 2017 book. And it's another military type. The world's most ruthless terrorists have sent a horrific message to Americans. Nowhere is safe. Now Navy SEAL turned covert counterterrorism operative Scott Harvath is about to deliver a deadly message of his own. As the storm rages across the Mediterranean Sea, a terrifying distress call is made to the Italian Coast Guard. Days later, a man's body washes ashore. So there you go. Got to find out who it is. I love action and suspense is one of my favorites, but I really love true crime. And Anne Rule, oh, is he? Well, thank you. Anne Rule was one of my favorites, and it was so sad when she passed away. But you know what? Her daughter, Leslie Rule, is actually on my Facebook, and it's really her. I have had such great conversations with her. And I told her how we even met up was I sent her a message when her mom passed away, and I said, you know, I never signed up on a fan page or anything like that. I said, but I love her books, and they're on my bookshelf. And I said, but I just will miss her. And we had a nice talk. She said, no, this is really me, because you don't know if it's, you know, somebody that just signs up for a page, you know, that works for their PR. Well, now Leslie Rule is actually a paranormal writer, but she just started writing true crime like her mom. So I just bought her book off of Alibi, one of her true crime ones. I can't wait to see how good she writes too. So I'm pretty excited about having her first book. I just got it in the mail. And I love it when people come in here, excuse me, and they talk about, you know, their favorite authors and things like that, because it means a lot. Because I have a few. And I like James Patterson's Suzanne's Diary for Nicholas. And I think the other one was called Sunday at Tiffany's or something like that. James Patterson writes some really good books too. And this one here, sometimes I find out some books are part of series and sometimes they don't say. So I try to look up books when I can. This one here is the Four Legendary Kingdoms. but every time I find a book as part of a series, I do put it in the description so people know. By Matthew Riley. This is actually a 2016. This book's in good condition too. And then this one says, Jack West Jr. and his family are living contentedly on their remote farm when their lives are abruptly shattered. Jack is brutally kidnapped, awakening in an underground cell to find a masked attacker with a knife charging at him. It seems he has been chosen, along with a dozen other elite soldiers, to compete in a series of deadly challenges designed to fulfill an ancient ritual. With the fate of the earth at stake, he will have to traverse diabolical mazes, fight cruel assassins, and face unimaginable horrors that will test him like he's never been tested before. In the process, he will discover the mysterious, powerful group of individuals behind it all, the Four Legendary Kingdoms. He might also discover that he is not the only hero in this place. So that's what the cover looks like. I wish I had time to read all these books. You know, it's really hard when you sell things you love because you want to read them all and you can't. I have like over 5,000 books, Care. I wish I had time to read all 5,000, but I'll see something and I'll pull it and I'm like, damn, you got to sell it. And it's like, oh, because I just want to read them all. It's horrible. I could never own I could never own a craft store. It would be horrible. Thank you, Care. It would be awful. I would be like, no. Okay. The next book I have, this one is called Did I do that one? I'll do this one. Okay. Ford County by John Grisham. And this is a nice hardback. It's got some writing in it, though, from whoever owned it previously. And they taped the jacket. For some reason, they must not have liked that it slid. But anyways, you can tell that it's new. I always check under the jackets because I have pulled jackets off and have found like powdered mold. But this one here, I did check down in with a flashlight. And you can see it's clear. It's good. It's in good shape. 2009. I think this is the first one I've ever had. Somebody taped the jacket in. You can't. I don't want to move it because I'll probably rip the book. There's a little bit of staining right here and on the bottom. But other than that, I mean, the pages and everything look good. It says in his first collection of short stories, John Grisham takes us back to Ford County, Mississippi, the setting of his first novel, A Time to Kill. Wheelchair-bound Inez Greeny and her two older sons, Leon and Butch, take a bizarre road trip through the Mississippi Delta to visit the youngest Greeny brother, Raymond, who's been locked away on death row for 11 years. It could well be their last visit. Mac Stafford, a hard-drinking, low-grossing, run-of-the-mill divorce lawyer, gets a miracle phone call with a completely unexpected offer to settle some old forgotten cases for more money than he's ever seen. Mac is suddenly bored with the law, fed up with his wife and his life, and makes drastic plans to finally escape. Quiet Doll Sidney, a data collector for an insurance company, perfects his blackjack skills in hopes of bringing down the casino empire of Clinton's most ambitious hustler, Bobby Carl Leach, who, among other crimes, has stolen Sidney's wife. Three good old boys from Royal Ford County begin a journey to the big city of Memphis to give blood to a grievously injured friend. However, they're unable to drive past the beer store as the trip takes longer and longer. The journey comes to an abrupt end when they make a fateful stop at a Memphis strip club. The Quiet Haven retirement home is the final step for the elder of the Clayton. It's a sad, languid place with little controversy until Gilbert arrives. Posing as a low-paid bedpan boy, he is in reality a brilliant stalker with an uncanny ability to sniff out the assets of those seniors he professes to love. One of the hazards of litigating against people in a small town is that one day, long after the trial, you will probably come face to face with someone who's beaten in a lawsuit. Lawyer Stanley Wade bumps into an old adversary, a man with a long memory, and an encounter becomes a violent ordeal. Whoa, this sounds like a good book. Clinton is rocked with the rumor that the gay son of a prominent family has finally come home to die of AIDS. For fear permits, the town of gossip runs unabated, but the colored section of Clinton, the young man finds a soulmate in his final days. Featuring cast of characters you will never forget. It sounds like it. There's a whole bunch going on in that book. Woohoo! Well, hello, Bulk Books, Mrs. Crocs. Welcome, welcome. I Smith. Welcome, everybody. If I miss you while I'm reading, I will welcome you when I go back to scroll back. Oh, I know. His paintings are cute, though. I got one of them, and it sits upstairs on my stand. Tell him he's surrounded by Care Bears. Seriously. I have his painting propped up, and I have these little stuffed Care Bears around it. That's too funny. So there is that book. I love Care Bears. I think Care Bears are so cute. This book, the cover, is just amazing. It's like almost like a psychedelic. I mean, it's so pretty. This is Close to Home by Lisa Jackson. You can tell there's a little bit of staining right there. And then there's a mark right there. And then this is what I always like taking the jackets off just to show you. A little bit of scuffs, but nothing major. It's like a little scuff right there on the bottom of the book. And then the back, and this is a 2014. And this is vowing to make a fresh start. Sarah McAdams has come home to renovate the old Victorian mansion where she grew up. Her daughters, Jade and Gracie. Oh my gosh, my daughter's name's Jade, and I have a niece named Gracie. Aren't impressed by the rundown property of the shores of Oregon's wild Columbia River. As soon as they pull up the isolated drive, Sarah too is beset by uneasy memories of her cold, distant mother and half sister who vanished without a trace. Of a long ago night when Sarah was found on the widow's walk, feverish and delirious. Ever since the original mistress of the house plunged to her death almost a century ago, there have been rumors that the place is haunted. As a girl, Sarah sensed a presence there, and soon Gracie claims to see a lady in white running up the stairs. Still, Sarah has little time to dwell on ghost stories between overseeing construction and dealing with the return of a man from her past. But there is a new, more urgent menace in the small town. One by one, teenage girls are disappearing. Frightened for her daughter's safety, Sarah feels her veneer cracking and the house's walls closing in on her again. Somewhere deep in her memory is the key to a very real and terrifying danger, and only by confronting her worst fears can she stop the nightmare roaring back into life once more. That looks like a doozy. And that's a bigger book too. So there is that one. Hey, Sweet Vicious. And if anybody's looking for an author to a specific one, I write people's names down and what they're looking for so that if that author, pops up, I can tag you into the live stream so that you can check it out. So far, I have requests for Stephen King and Robin Cook. So if anybody wants to ever add to the list, please feel free to let me know. And then the next book we have, we're almost done with the action and suspense books. This one here is called The Banana Man Legacy. That itself sounds creepy. Banana Man. And this is ripped here. This is definitely an older looking book. Look at the kitty cat. It was owned by somebody named Becky. That's what the book looks like. And the jacket has seen better days, but the book itself is in good shape because the jacket did its job. Definitely protected the book. And this is a 1985. So that's why it looks a little older. And then this one is The Banana Man Legacy begins with the story of Roddy Greenbank in the autumn of 1807. He is brought to a small town of Langley by his father, but within hours the father meets a violent and mysterious death, and the boy Roddy is left with no memory of anything or anyone he has ever known. And so Roddy comes to be adopted and raised by old Kate Makepeace, a family friend whose special brand of country wisdom sets her apart from the rest of the Langley. When the truth about his father's death is discovered, it leaves Roddy with a terrible legacy of hatred and vengeance, and so he must leave Langley, even if it means passing on the truth of the fearful night on the two people who care for him most, Mary Ellen Lee and Hale Royston. Buoyed by their love for each other and their belief in the future, Hale and Mary Ellen begin a new life together as they attempt to leave behind them the secrets of Roddy Greenbank. But when Kate, their eldest daughter, grows up to marry a man who is a stranger to Langley, the hatred of the many years gone by is rekindled, and once again their happiness is threatened. Interesting. Another mystery. Oh, thank you, thank you. Hey, Frugal Shelly girl. Hey, Annie of the Shire. Welcome in. Anybody that's on my YouTube, hello. I can't read YouTube at the same time. I need to have a setup where I have a laptop beside me so I can read on YouTube too, because I feel bad when people come over there and I can't see them. So the next category we are going into is Westerns. Now, the Western books are not always in the best shape because these are old. I mean, like really old. Let's move this out of the way. I've got these books sitting on top of them, so I'm going to move them. Okay. So this is actually part of a series, but they're not like a continued where you have to read each one to get the story. It's kind of like a story inside of each book as a series. Even though it's a series, it's not continued. There's a story in each book. And I don't have all of the numbers. So as I open the boxes of books that I have and go through them, if I find a complete series, I will bundle it. This one here is called The Gunsmith by Arizona Ambush. This is actually book 119 in the series. Some of these series are really huge. And this is by J.R. Roberts. So this one is, look, they always got to put that discontinued on the book. I hate that word on books, that and discarded. But see, you can tell this is old. So usually when I see books like this, I put them under either fair or poor, depending on what they look like as far as the conditions. But the story's there. I make sure all the story's there and then the pages are ripped out. This is from 1991. And this is Clint Adams headed to for the Bar Z as soon as he heard his friend needed help, but he was too late. Hank Denzel had already been gunned down by the bloodthirsty Stringer boys who wants to buy his spread cheap. Now it's all Hank's lovely daughter can do to hold on to the place. So the gunsmith stays to set things straight, but the Stringer varmints aren't the only hard cases Clint has to face. Someone is rustling Bar Z stock at an alarming rate, and to make matters work, ruthless railroad barons have designs on both the Bar Z and the Gunsmith, even though it's covered by a sticker. There's some rating right there. I mean, this is like a fair book or a poor book. It's one of the rated because of the discoloration. Now, I like the discoloration, because as a crafter, we like it. We don't have to copy dye these books. And you can tell where the tape, somebody taped this. So, just so you know the flaws. Let's start. Charity! Did you come visit me? Hey, PSN Creations. We got to put it in here. There's Charity. My favorite foundations in here, Charity. That's the Disabled Artist Foundations that I talked about before. This is Care. This is Charity. Charity's from the ephemera category. So you can meet new people. Oh, I forgot to put your heart in. I'm introducing Care to some of the people that I hang out with on here. Charity's one. And another one is this person. This is Jen717. She's such a blast to listen to when she sells ephemera too. So these are my favorite people. And another one is Penguin Boss, she is Printy Corn that you met in here earlier. They have been best friends in person for years. They went to school together. So I have Penguin Boss is one of the first people I got to know. I actually mod for her stream. And I met Prinny through Penguin Boss. And Ghost in the Attic, Melissa, she is another one. She was my very first purchase on Whatnot. And they're like, they've been on the Whatnot platform for a while. Let me get her name in here. This is Ghost in the Attic. That's Melissa. And she actually owns an antique store that she posts on Facebook. So I'm going to hook you up with some good people, Care. And Care's name is Carolyn, but we call her Care, and it suits her because she's got a very caring heart. And she's the one that's started the foundation, and now she's got a bunch of people helping her, and it's an amazing foundation that helps people work through things. And you would not believe how many people have told me that crafting has been therapy for them. For people that don't even know about the foundation, Care, I can't tell you how many times people have said they have crafted through difficulties. Like there was one woman telling me when her mom, came into dementia, she would craft to stay awake while she took care of her. And it helped her through not only dealing with her mom and her disabilities, it helped her get through it, mentally. And then when her mom passed away, it was also her therapy. So it is amazing to hear the feedback of stories that people have used crafting in so many ways to get through things. I love it. And she's got this one crafter that donates stuff. Her name's Arlene. She is a riot. I have actually crafted with Arlene in private, and she cracks me up. And she makes the cutest things that you would not believe. And I have things that the disabled artists, creators, like people who have donated to sell things for auction, sitting right beside me. Sharon Lombard has got to be one of the most talented people I've ever met in crafting. She's the one that felted this, and I have showed this before. She's got her name on it. And I got this from one of the auctions. This is my cute little snail. It sits right beside me. And then Meta, she created this. Like, it's everything I have ever gotten sits around me on my desk. And then I don't know who created this because her name's not on it, but I don't know if you remember Care or not, but this is, look, it's like bippity boppity. It's like a wand, but it's a pincushion. I freaking love this thing. And you see so many ideas that, even if you're even window shopping, I have told people, even if you can't afford to buy, go watch one of the auctions, because if anything, it inspires. I can't tell you how many times I've had crafters block, and I'd be trying to think of something, and I would go watch something and see what some of the crafters have donated, and it inspired me to create something. It's amazing. And it is very inspiring. I wish sometimes that Sharon had a YouTube channel so we could watch her. Because she is so creative. And then some people even make, I don't remember where I got this, but they even make the glue pens. Like if your glue gets clogged, look at that dangle. I could have bought this off of somebody else, but it says Guardian Angel. And then you poke it in down into your glue bottle. Like they have bling for everything. It just amazes me, this stuff. I love it. I do. I love all the stuff I have gotten so far. And I use it. And sometimes you can even get stuff like I got sea beads one time. And I created those little Victorian ladies, those little tags that I donated to the thing. Those sea beads on those tags actually came from the Defy auction. It's funny how things will roll even back in that you have created. Okay, back to this. My book people are going to be like, shut up, Tammy. Get busy. But I can't help it. I like talking too. And then here is, but I'll tell you what, Foster Friends Thrift, if you ever get a chance to catch her care, she is absolutely funny. Spaghetti is awesome. She's got one of the most vibrating personas on Whatnot that I have ever seen in a fundraiser channel. She is just amazing. But she comes on kind of late because she's in California. So sometimes it's not until like my husband comes home at 11:30 at night and then she goes live on the East Coast time. But I try to catch her and she is so much fun to raid. I love to raid her stream. And if you donate $1, like you know how they tip, she'll play this little tune about money and she'll jiggle to it and she shows a fake dollar. She does the cutest things on her channel. But like I said, she's the one that actually pushed me. My final push to sell on Whatnot was her. Because she was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I had no social medias. And I just had to, keep the rent going on the building for the foster kids. She says, don't think about it. Just sell. Just do it. And she pushed me. Like her words gave me more confidence to just do it. Because I was a nervous wreck. I first come on here because it's different. So this is another Western. We are in the Western category. This one here is called, this is book number 2. And it's an adult Western series called Blood Hunt Golden Hawk. So this is what this book, somebody put an X on it on both sides. Why do people write on books and put discarded? And stickers sometimes are so annoying. And it's, you can tell it's older. This is a 1986. And this book is Hawk on the Hunt. First the mocking Comanche warrior butchered saber-haired woman in front of Golden Hawk's eyes, then confirmed that his beautiful golden-haired sister Annabelle was still the captive of a brutal Blackfoot chief. Suddenly Golden Hawk's one-man war flamed with fresh fury. No man on the plains knew Indians better than Hawk, for he had been raised by them. No man fought them as fiercely, for he had terrible blood score to settle. Now he had a wanderer named Bill Williams at his side, a pack of hard-as-nails mountain men behind him, and a pair of lustful ladies competing for his special brand of loving. Golden Hawk was ready to plunge into action against the most murderous tribes in the West, but he laid himself wide open to what he hoped would not only be one beauty, but one bullet too many. So there you go, Western series. Care, you got muted. It's okay. It happens. Oh my gosh, when I tell you the story of my mute words, like I said, I'm a slow seller, so I'm going to tell you what gets me muted. Somebody was showing, I can't remember if it was Mighty Annie, I don't know, somebody in the ephemera was showing a postcard. And I typed in, oh my goodness, those blue balls are so cute, meaning Christmas. Blue balls got me muted. To tell you the fun mute words, they're hysterical. And then it's hysterical. You can type the F word and any cuss word you imagine and it doesn't get muted, but you type in blue balls, you get muted. So the next time it happened to me, you remember the old muffs that you put your hands in as a kid? I had a pair of those. They hung around your neck on a strap. And my mom had gotten us a muff for Christmas. We had them, and you put your hands in them to keep warm. Well, somebody showed a picture of a girl with the muff, and I said, "Boy, her muff is really pretty," and her muff got me muted. They turned it perverted, and I wasn't talking about private parts. I was talking about the fuzzy things on her. It is so. If you don't get muted on here at least once a day, something's wrong. Because I get muted all the time. And you can't type PayPal either. And you can't type the word boobs. If you type boobs, you got to use BEWS. I don't even know. Maybe they even mute that now. I don't know. But if you type PayPal, they mute you because they don't. It's just weird. Yeah. And it's funny because who was it that made a game out of it, Charity? Somebody made a game out of it that if you type in, see, and only the mods will see the muted words. People who aren't modded won't. Hold on, I'm going to make Charity a mod too. But if you, it's absolutely hysterical how much you can cuss on here and it does nothing. But you type in something easy and it mutes you. Care, you're going to be muted every day. She's as bad as I am when she talks about stuff. I'm always getting muted. Oh my gosh. It's hysterical. But somebody made a game out of it. and and it was something about this is the secret mute word of the day, and they'll give you hints. And if you can guess and you're not a mod because you haven't seen it, they'll give you a giveaway. And I thought that was hysterical, but I can't remember who did it. It would be Charity. I can't remember whose stream I was on that did it, though. It might have been Last Word Bookstore, but it was somebody, and I thought that is so genius. She will give a hint, and she'll say, "Do you know what the muted word is of the day?" And if you guess, and then that's what she would do. And oh my gosh, I was dying. Daughter calling. Let me see. But oh my gosh, that is so funny. I get the biggest kick out of some of the stuff people come up with on here for games. I'm looking. I don't see daughter calling. What category is it under? I'm looking. Oh, Charity. I'm I'm like, what? Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I don't see that book, Kara. Am I missing it? I'm looking, but I don't see it. If it's in my buy it now, I don't have it near me. If it's in the auction, I do. I can't see it. She was asked me about a book. Oh, never mind. She had to run because the daughter was calling. I thought she meant she was looking up the book. I'm up here losing my mind looking for this book called Daughter Calling. Sorry, Kara. I totally misread that comment. Because you know how people say run? I thought I thought she wanted me to run a book called Daughter Calling. I'm doing real good today, Charity. But yeah, uh, strange. Some people on here are very strange. I just shake my head. Some of the comments that come at me is like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I just Blows my mind. But you know, you do got to remember there are people out here that have some um, mental disorders too. Seriously, and it is sad when you run across people like that, and you just are blown away by some of the things that comes out of them. I'm like, what? Okay, so this is Tomahawk by Donald Clayton Porter, and it's got like yellow looking, and it's 1982, so you know it's been loved. And this is book 6 from the White Indian series. The mighty warrior vowed to fight or die for his proud nation. So this is another part of a series. I don't have the whole series, but if I do come across the rest of them, I will put them together. And sometimes when people look up series books, they might have read so many and not others, so they might not want to buy the whole series to get the rest of it, because I've had that happen. And I like reading. I used to like reading V.C. Andrews, and sometimes I would come across her books when I was out. I didn't want the whole series because I had like the first few, so I have them separated for now. But if I do get them, I will put them together just because some people don't have the whole series, and I feel so bad because I actually have a story to share about this. When I was selling my books on the Facebook Marketplace, I had this one series, but one book was missing. And so I told the guy, he bought him, he was from another country. So he bought him and he paid a very hefty sum just for shipping. And he's like, it's too bad you're missing book 15. I couldn't find that book anywhere. And I can't imagine somebody dropping off a series with one in the middle missing. So, like I said, we had water issues and I just found book 15. That was buried, separated from the thing. So I contacted him, and this was like 2 years ago. He bought the series. I said, I just found the book you were looking for. Are you still interested? But I haven't heard anything. He probably found it by now, but now I'm stuck with just book 15 though. But I did have the whole series. I just didn't know it. Thank you for your purchase. But I do try to find them as fast as I can because I don't have the room to open up all the boxes I have. So I'm trying to put them together as I do. So this one is called A Test of Courage, son of Reno, the valiant Iroquois Sachem. If I mispronounce the Indian name, sorry. Has sworn an oath of blood. There was no escape for the murder of Gahonka, his beloved grandfather, Bully. He rides to avenge the cruel death, but as Jagon seeks to destroy the evildoer, the killer wickedly schemes to steal his love. A passionate Seneca beauty, Jagon must strike back swiftly, charged by his unbridled fury. A challenge of destiny as Reno lies fighting for his life. Jagon sweeps to the rescue of his untamed love to challenge his destiny to fulfill the legacy of the proud Seneca. He must triumph over strife and treachery with the same unconquerable spirit that forged the mighty Iroquois nation. Some of the Indian, I can pronounce the tribes and some I can't. It just depends on how it's spelled. Some of these names on some of these books, period, are hard to pronounce. Hatred named. Thanks, Charity. But yeah, I do kind of, there's lots of people with special kinds of needs, but I do kind of look out. But I just was hit with some conversation by that particular person, and I was like, what? And I'm thinking, am I losing my mind over here? But yeah, it happens. So then this here is another one from that same series, but this is book 1. So this is the one I just showed is book 6, and this is book 1 from the series. And that's all I have found so far. The lusty, turbulent saga of America's first frontier. And then this is what the book looks like. This is from 1979, so it is going to look older. And then this says, his land, the vast virgin ocean of trees, was his empire. He was Reno the White Indian, the mightiest of all Seneca braves. Now the settlers came to sweep over his home and hunting ground with their strange ways, their fiery weapons, and with the beautiful Englishwoman, Deborah, her land. Both English and French claimed the verdant new world. Some came to settle, some to steal and wage war. Each man, woman, and child found a new life. A harsh yet thrilling fate awaited Deborah, one that few women dared to dream, and fewer still would ever know. These look like good books. And there is that one. I just wish I could read them all. I really do. I love all kinds of genres. Some of the westerns, though, they kind of remind me of like a cross between western and romance. But I try to keep them in the categories. But I will tell you right now, if you're looking for sci-fi, you are not going to find the sci-fi category with me. My sci-fi books are in the action and suspense category because sometimes it's hard to tell between a sci-fi and an action and suspense because there's like galactic wars and stuff going on. So I categorize them all in one thing, and I'm sorry for you sci-fi people because I know my husband's a sci-fi buff, but I just can't separate them sometimes. So they're mixed together. So you're just going to have to go through the store if you're looking for sci-fi under my action and suspense to find them. Sorry I make it harder for you. So that is that book. And next, we have a next Western. I even have an old Western in here. And I haven't looked up these books. I should have, but I try to Google to see, Google Lens to see if they're a part of a series, if I can't tell. But there's one in here. It's really old. Here's XX on this book. You can tell it's rough. Like I said, these usually go under poor or fair, depending, because the book's still there. And you're going to get old looking because they're used books. Some people don't mind it. Some people do. I don't care if it looks brownish. That doesn't bother me, but I read anything. The Day the Cowboys Quit by Elmer Kelton, 1971. Rancher John Torrington and his men caught the rustlers who'd been sniping their dwindling herd, so they took care of him the only way they knew how. Now they were on trial for murder, but they weren't really worried. The other ranchers, their cowhands, and even the judge were behind them, except that the dead man's brother was waiting for the outcome of the trial with a gun. The Day the Cowboys Quit. So this, just to say some of the older books that are very valuable, like from the 1800s, they're not going to be pristine and white. I've seen some literally falling apart that people preserve just because of how old it is. So that's why I never judge a book by its cover or color. Thank you, Charity. You are too. Y'all are amazing. I love the ephemera category on here because you guys are so much fun. Sometimes Charity even sells her garage stuff. We like garage stuff. I love that cup. That cup is so cute. I didn't realize even when you sold it that the Cheshire Cat was on top. And he's like my favorite character. So when I saw that, I was like, this is so cute. Welcome back, Noah. This is the oldest Western that I have come across so far. And I'm actually impressed that it has held up like this for its age. It says the first time in paperback. This is The Oakdale Affair by Edgar Rice Burroughs. I would have never guessed the date on this. This is what the inside looks like. This is from 1918. 1918. And it's a paperback that has lasted. I mean, yes, it's got its flaws. But wow, that's old. And at first I thought, there's no way could be 1918. It's got to be newer, but I'm not seeing any other dates. Because people that don't realize, oh no, I take that back. This says 1919 in it. And then it says 1937. Okay, I didn't see this part. 1937 is what I would put on this. I was going to say 1918. That's in good shape for a paperback. I'm going to put 1937. But see, this is another trick with books that a lot of people don't know, that don't, pay attention to. This is what you see by the copyright. It says 1918. And you see nothing else on that page. But you go here. That's why they say the copyright's not the actual date that it's published. It's just copyrighted. Then you go to this page and see where it says 1919. 1937 wouldn't be in there if this was a 1918 book, if you understand what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to look down the page. And some of the authors, it'll show even right by the copyright, you'll see like a whole bunch of dates. That's how many times it's been renewed. Like if you see this here and then you see a bunch under it, that means that it's been republished that many times to keep it up, to keep it in copyright. Come on. This says, the beautiful young daughter of a wealthy family is robbed of her money and jewels, and she herself disappeared soon after. A young man fleeing a band of murderous hobos becomes the target of a lynch mob. So that's what this is about. It's a grizzly bear. But I put copyright 1937 on this, even though it says 1918, because that's the last date I see published in here. Only to let people know that it's not. It might have been first in 1918, but there's no way they could put the later dates in if it was. So sometimes you got to look down the list. So I'm going to claim this one as 1937 because that's the last date I seen in it. That's usually how I do my copyright, so people get the accurate time it was published. So this is running. Hey, flippers. Welcome, welcome. And hey, the literary loft. I'm always learning something new about books every day. I seem to find something new about them, so. So that is that book. And then next we have The Painted Lady by Peter Abresh. This is from 2003. It's got a little bit of spots on it, but like I said, my books are all used. And then it says The Wild Wild West. Retired physical therapist James P. Danny embarks on another elder hostel adventure with his lady love artist Dodie Swisher. This time the old Santa Fe Trail, but before the trip even gets underway, he sees a Native American woman plunged to her death from a Denver rooftop. Jim suspects that the woman, a shaman, believed to possess a priceless Mayan artifact, was pushed. Soon it's clear that somebody thinks Jim knows the whereabouts of the statue, a golden diamond encrusted falcon. It's a misconception that it is becoming dangerous to both Jim and Dodie's well-being. Another grisly murder occurs on the historic trail through the Wild West, and the mysteries old and new find Jim caught in a shootout in Cimarron with a killer determined to make his dandy's last day. Now, see what I mean? This is actually a Western, but it could also be an action and suspense. because there's like a mystery in there. So sometimes it's hard to pick the genre of certain books unless it's actually listed. That's why I have mine mixed together. I make up my own genres. So there's this. But there's like a fine line between some of these. And, you know, like I've said before, I try to make it as easy as possible for people to find stuff because I have a licensed physical bookstore. And when people come in here, I had like the self-help and the educational and the biographies all under the same category. The autobiographies, because it was simpler for them to find everything. Some people like it, some people don't, you know. But I think it makes it easy for people to find stuff. I get overwhelmed sometimes when I go in Walmart and I'm trying to look for something and you feel like you're standing in the aisle for half an hour because there's so many choices now. So I try to keep it simple. Somebody put a smiley face on this one. They must have thought he was handsome. This is another Western. It's called Western Lovers Ranch Rogues. This is carved in stone by Kathleen Eagle. This is from 1987. And like I said, this could even be classified just by looking at it. Is this a romance or a Western? You know, there's like a fine line between some of these books. And it is. It says silhouette, but it's under Western. Silhouette desires were always romance. A little bit of rating in it. The Last Action Hero. Sky Hunter was no silver screen stereotype of the American Indian. He was the real thing. Full-blooded Sioux. And as rugged as the Rocky Mountains called him home, years of playing cowboys and Indians in Tinseltown had left him aching for his land, for the feel of earth between his fingers and open sky overhead. One look at Wyoming newcomer Elaine Delacourt, and Sky knew he'd found the only woman for him. She'd come to research the native culture, and Sky was more than happy to act as her guide, only his lessons had nothing to do with nature and everything to do with love. See what I'm saying? Romance. But yet it's a Western. So it's interesting how some of these cross into one another. I don't know. Because some of them fight for women under the Western ones too that are actually real Westerns and gunfighting. So it's just hard to tell. So I label them how I label them, and hopefully people will find them. And then next we have this is called The Longhorn Feud. Max Brand, the master of two-fisted Western adventures. He was a tall stranger with a deadly aim and a bloodthirst for justice. Ooh. And then this is what this looks like. Definitely aged. A little bit of rippage right there where it's coming apart a little bit crease. But like I said, they're old and used. And this is actually from 1960. So yeah, there's an X there. I don't know why they put X's on the books unless that's their first discard word. And it says, when the smoke cleared, 15 men lay dead. It all began over a steer. The Morgan boys said it was theirs, and the Cheneys said it belonged to them. Then came an all-out battle, and everybody knew more men were going to die. That's when Barry Lytton rode into town and decided to end the bloodshed while taking the law into his own hands. So there you go. He's on a horse. Yay for the horsies. Especially the ones that go into battle. Poor babies. I hate when I'm watching somebody game. I don't know if it's Fortnite or what it is, but one of them's got horses. I'm like, quit killing the horses. Poor animals. They always go through torture in video games. And hello to my YouTube people. One of these days, I'm going to be able to read chat on my YouTube while I'm live and here at the same time. Hey, Yogi. Welcome in. We got the Yogi Bear. Okay, let's see here. Next, we have... This one is called War Clouds by Jim Miller. This is my last Western today. Like I said, it's got some darkness to it because I'm a used bookstore. 1984. Courage, and a pew-pew. Scarred in battle, Finn Callahan takes the open road and hits pay dirt twice in the form of buried gold again in the arms of a mysterious New Orleans beauty. But tragedy forces the Callahan clan onto the Santa Fe Trail for protection. What they find instead is action plenty, which Finn and his brother Nate handle from the back of their brand new Walker Colt revolvers, facing off the Mexican army and the war to the death for the Texas border. So there you go, if you like Westerns. I had an uncle that loved Westerns. That was like his favorite genre. And when I come across some true crime books, I'll put them up. But right now, I don't have any that I know of. But like I said, I'm unboxing books. As I unbox them, clean them up, go through them, and make sure you get your pages and none are ripped and everything's good, I will post them here. So you get to see them when I get to see them, because I don't know my stash because of water chasing my books for some reason. And I don't have the room to unbox it all, so I'm doing a little at a time. From a leaky roof where I had my books stored to my water heater literally blowing apart. That was just crazy that day. And moving them around, it was one catastrophe after the other. Like around the time COVID hit at the same time. So I have no clue what's in what box until I go through them, and then I bring them to you guys. So you get to see them when I do. I know everybody asked me what kind of books I have. I couldn't tell you because I didn't order these. I go shopping for some, but like I said, they got mixed up. And then next we have the romance category. So here you go. You go from cowboys and all this stuff to the mushy. Put these over here. So now we're going into the mushy category. So if you're ready to hear about romance, you're going to. This here, I actually read this book. This is actually a good one. This is Danielle Steele's Pegasus, and contrary to what people believe, she doesn't always write things that are not factual, and she doesn't always write romances. She actually has a book out that 100% of the proceeds goes to homeless people because it's a true story about homeless people. So Danielle Steele is all over the place. She even has a book about her son that passed away. She's a very good writer, contrary to people thinking she's just romance. She writes a lot more than that. And in her earlier books, she writes a lot about what goes on with the German war when, we had the Jewish and everything that happened with Hitler. She writes about this stuff. And it's factual in her book, and she might twist a romance story into it. But I actually learned a lot of facts through some of her books. So this is in really good condition. Here she is. I've learned a lot about her as an author too. She doesn't like to read other people's books because she doesn't want to take the chance of plagiarism. I think that's interesting. Where did she put the synopsis? Hold on. Sometimes they put the synopsis in the front of the books, and sometimes They put it inside the books. I don't know why she doesn't have it. Oh, there it is. It's inside the back. I was like, where is her synopsis? I got my post-it note over it. Okay. German aristocrats Nicholas von Bingen and Alex von Hemmerl, both widowers and best friends since childhood, are raising Nick's two boys and Alex's teenage daughter in peace and luxury on their vast Bavarian estates. While Nick pursues a more glamorous life, Alex devotes himself to the breeding of the majestic white, I know I'm going to butcher these horses, Lipizzaner. I don't know how to say the horses' names, but they are show horses, basically. So that's what I'm going to call them. That enthrall audiences throughout Europe. But with the tide of Nazism rising, the secret from the past changes everything. Nick discovers that his mother, whom he never knew, was of Jewish descent. With no time to spare, Nicholas must flee Germany, leaving his father, friends, and familiar world, and wrenching his sons away from their homes for a new life in America. Their survival will depend on the precious gift from Alex, 8 purebred horses, 2 of them stunning, the Lipwins, in Florida, where Nicholas joins a Ringling Brothers circus. He becomes Nick Bing with Alex's prize white stallion, now named Pegasus. The centerpiece, yes, Peg, if you're in my YouTube, he's probably over there going, finally, she talks about Pegasus, because he loves Pegasus. The centerpiece of the show. Meanwhile, men like Alex von Hemmerl are forced to make unbearable choices in Germany, engulfed in flames and madness. Alex's daughter will find sanctuary in England. An American Nick will find love, and his sons will find a future, and their left-behind world will eventually find them. A novel of hope and sacrifice, of tragedy, challenge, and rebirth. Pegasus is a brilliant family chronicle that unfolds across half a century. A master work from one of the most beloved writers, Danielle Steele. And this is a good book, because I did read this one. And I love horses, so perfect mix. But she did write a book called Palomino a long time ago. Hey, user AE and Angie. And Palomino is stunning. That book is one of my favorites that she has ever written. And no, it's not about a horse. It's about a woman who has blonde hair like a Palomino. That's why it's called Palomino, because that was her kind of her nickname. But it is a really good book. It has always been my top favorite of hers. But this book was good too. So the next one we have is her Christmas wish. And sometimes people do like certain types of romance book. Like this is the love-inspired, heartwarming, inspirational romance. And some people like they have like suspenseful ones. I had one collector used to love the suspenseful romance. This has got a stamp on the top of Honor Books, which I'm thinking was a bookstore itself. This is from 2016. A daddy for Christmas. Single mother Ellie Grant's little girl only wants one thing for Christmas, a daddy. But after adopting Gracie and losing her fiance, Ellie made a vow to focus on motherhood, not romance. But the 5-year-old has sights on a veterinarian, Wyatt Wright, a handsome widowed father whose toddler son means an instant brother. Ellie knows that Wyatt's heart is as close to love as hers is, yet when Wyatt also starts working at Wrangler's Ranch, Ellie can't deny her growing feelings. Now her daughter's fondest wish might make 2 families into one just in time for Christmas. So there you go. Hey, Lindsay Nicole. Welcome in, everybody. If there's anything you want to see, please feel free to let me know. And I will definitely run it or show you the book, even if you don't want to purchase. And there's lots of stuff in my bin. And if you're a crafter and you're looking for anything with crafting, you can type CL and it'll bring up the crafter. FL will bring up fashion, and BL brings up books. That's how I do my lot so that people can find things real easy. And then next we have Diana Palmer. She reads pretty good books. This one here is Lord of the Desert. It's got like a rating thing right there where somebody scribbled in it. The rest of the book's in good conditions from 2000. It's got a little nick right there in the back. But other than that, the spine and stuff is pretty good. And this one says, from seduction, the royal sheikdom to high adventure in the hot Arabian desert comes a breathtaking love story by international bestseller author Diane Palmer. Sheltered small-town girl Gretchen Brannon was out of her element when she aligned herself with Sheikh Philip Saban, the formidable ruler of Kauai. They came from different worlds, yet she found a soulmate in a powerful, sensual man who suppressed his passions for far too long and harbored a secret anguish. Nevertheless, he made a virtuous young woman aware of her own courage, and in turn, she aroused his sleeping senses as no other woman could. However, now that Gretchen's heart belonged to the Lord of the Desert, danger loomed when she became the target for vengeance by the Sheikh's most diabolical enemy. In a final showdown that would pit good against evil, could love and destiny triumph? So there is a good romance read if you like the romance category. And give me a second because I'm taking a drink of water. Mouth's getting dry. Okay. What is next here? So next we have A Super Romance by Harlequin. My Sister, Myself by Tara Taylor Quinn. Harlequin Super Romance. That looks good. This is pretty good condition. It's got a little bit of dottish of yellowish on there. But it's fair. At least in my opinion. It says, come home to Shelter Valley. She's not who she says she is. Tori Evans is living her sister's life. Christine is dead, murdered by Tori's vengeful ex-husband, and now, for her own survival, Tori has taken on Christine's identity, her name, her job, her new home in Shelter Valley, Arizona. He's reinventing his life. Ben Sanders is a divorced father who comes to Shelter Valley to resume the education that was interrupted years before. He's intrigued by one of his professors. The woman he knows is Christine Evans. She's smart, beautiful, and she's hiding something. She's also off limits. Despite the secrecy and the danger, Tori and Ben are drawn to each other. Second chances really do exist, especially in a place like Shelter Valley. So that's what that book's about. Intriguing. I always say intriguing minds what to know. And if you do follow me, I will get to you when the live is over. Thanks for the follows. And I will follow you back. I like the picture on the next book. She looks sassy. So this book, look at that face. That's a sassy face. Revenge is Sweet by Jill Sheldon. You can tell this was definitely a loved book. It's got some creases in it, but it's still in pretty good shape. Definitely has been read. This is from 1997. He was the furthest thing from harmless she had ever seen, and he owned her. Chloe Walker is a soft touch for anyone in trouble. Thomas McGuire is a man with no heart, determined to achieve what he wants no matter who gets in his way. So something or someone has to give, but is it going to be Chloe? Chloe. That sounds like a sizzler. Her face. The face expression. And my name joined. How did that happen? I joined my own stream and I haven't left. I might have to refresh. So give me a second. I'm going to refresh the app. Then I can hurry up and switch over to YouTube real quick and see who's in my live. Pig! I just mentioned Jill. In the Bud Files in Tennessee. Well, I don't know how he's not. Had to get you back. Oh my gosh, he saw it. You saw it. That's so funny. That's so cool. He saw that I had a Pegasus. Okay, I got to go back. So give me a second. I got to refresh the app over here. I'm glad you came to visit my YouTube channel too. But like I said, I got to get a laptop set up beside me at some point where I'm able to read. I don't have an extra laptop right now. I'll have to buy one. And I have to force stop the Whatnot app and then open it again to get it fresh again. There we go. Now chat should move again. There we go. Okay. So the next book we have, I don't know if it just slows down, but it does that to me every once in a while. I have to stop it. The next one is called A Rake's Vow by Stephanie Lauren. I like how they've got that necklace across the book. That's cool looking. And then there's a couple spots because, like I said, used book, but the story's there. And this is a 1998. Vane Sinister always knew which way the wind was blowing, and it was headed in a marrying direction. The other sinister men might not mind stepping up to the altar, but Vane never wanted to be leg shackled to any woman, no matter how comely. Bellamy Hall seemed like the perfect place to temporarily hide from London's husband hunters, but when he encountered irresistible Patience Debington, Vane realized he'd met his match, and soon he had more than seduction on his mind. She vowed no man would catch her. Well, these sound like a real fun couple. Patience wasn't about to succumb to Vane's sensuous propositions, yet his kisses left her dizzy. His caresses made her melt, but he was arrogant, presumptuous, and despite his protests, bound to be unfaithful, just like every other man. Patience had promised herself that she'd never become vulnerable to a broken heart, but was this one vow meant to be broken? The book is pretty too. It looks blue, but it's purple. I don't know why it shows blue on camera. Purple and blue are weird on lives. Well, thank you for your purchase. Hey, JKT Treasures. Hey, Melinda. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If there's anything you all want to see in the auction, please feel free to let me know. I don't go in any specific order. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So the next book we have, and Catherine Coulter is another good writer. This is The Aristocrat. And this is what the book looks like. It's got a little spot right there. But it is a 1986, not bad for an 86. And it says, it's like a letter. This is cute. The author actually wrote a letter like on the back of the book. That's really cute. It says, Dear reader, I was raised on American professional football, watching it every Sunday with my dad and going to the Dallas Cowboy games, and I proceeded to marry the right guy. Also a football nut. Now living in the Bay Area is a real football treat. What with our incredible San Francisco 49ers. I've known guys like Brant Asher since I was a kid. He was a pro football player, sexy, tough, immensely talented, and best of all, good-hearted by definition. As a pro quarterback, his anatomy would make any woman whimper. Trust me on this. Life shovels a very big surprise into Brant's plate. He inherits an English estate, becomes a lord, and lands himself in a pile of trouble. So she wrote a letter, but she included the synopsis in it. I like this. A whole lot of trouble in the form of English relatives. Daphne, the double-bagging dog Suave, Aunt Chloe, and the vamp Lucilla. What happens is something every good man deserves and must naturally work hard for. Do enjoy The Aristocrat, a fun novel I really enjoyed writing. Catherine Coulter. That was different as a synopsis on a book. I've never seen one done like that before. That's pretty cool. Hey, Melinda. Hey, Jade Treasures. Well, thank you for your purchase again. And I hope you enjoy this. You'll have to let me know if you can, the feedback, if it's a good one, because I really like how she did that. I've read a lot of synopsises in my time, and I have never seen one do like an introduction like that, like by an author. That is really cool. And I've read a few of her books before. Welcome back, Yogi. That's definitely inspiring. Now, I have read a few of her books, and you either like Janet Ivanovich or you don't, but her books are so quirky. The numbered ones. I didn't get to read this one, but the ones where it says One for the Money and that, they actually turned it into a movie. But oh my goodness, her characters are so funny sometimes. So look at that ice cream sundae. Does that look delicious? But this is in pretty decent shape from 2006. Kick off your shoes, sit back, and enjoy a full scoop of fun adventure and romance. Mercury's in retrograde, and folks in Beaumont, South Carolina, are dealing with gossip, scandal, and more secrets than ever. Local pediatrician Maggie Farnsworth has even bigger worries. Her wild girl post was caught up with her in the form of an ex-boyfriend, a jailbird who just flew the coop and is bent on tracking down Maggie and her daughter. Fortunately, FBI agent Zach Madden is on hand for protection. Unfortunately, his presence is turning up the heat on an attraction Maggie simply has no time for. Or does she? But Maggie and Zach aren't the only ones getting busy. Fleas, the hound dog, is up to his old tricks, this time with Butterbean, a very alluring goat. Jamie Swift and millionaire Max Holt have babies on the brain, and a resident psychic astrologer, Destiny, is fighting a crush of her own. Since the town's ice cream parlor is a magnet for gossip, no one can keep a secret, and the sticky situations are getting even better. Fast-paced action, steamy sex suspense, and lots of laugh. It's a full series. So this must be the rest. Full House, Full Jill, Full Speed, Full Blast, Full Bloom, and this one's Full Scoop. So it's a series. Different stories in each series. I've read her one for the money, two for the dough. These numbered ones are cute. Some of it is just some of these books. Her books are really quirky. They really are. They're fun. So this is Full Scoop. Well, thank you. Thank you for your purchase. She has this one character in her one for the money, two for the show. She is absolutely funny. She's like a friend of hers. And she's always coming up with quirky things in her numbered books. So there is that one. The next one we have is called Calder Storm by Janet Daly. So this is this book. It's pretty good condition. It's got a little L. Somebody wrote L's in here. And this is from 2006. It's got a stamp there of the honor. A little bit of discoloration, but like I said, I sell used books. And then here it looks like somebody bent the back of the book. It's got a bend right there. With rugged cowboy looks, Trey Calder could have his pick of women, but he's been holding out for someone special. And the minute he lays his eyes on photographer Sloane Davis, he knows he's found her. Within weeks, the two are married. It's a dream come true for the orphan Sloane until Trey makes a startling discovery about just who Sloane is. Passion turns into suspicious, and a dangerous game is set in motion, putting everything the Calders have worked for over generations on the line. A formidable enemy has been lying in wait, someone who will use whatever means necessary to control their land, their lives, and their legacy. Trey Calder has been trained to take over his family's ranch to protect what is theirs. Now the time has come for Calder's son to make a stand and hope that his way is the right way. That looks like a good book too. Kind of reminds me of Yellowstone in a way. Always trying to take down the families in some way. I love Yellowstone. Hey, Fast Storm. Welcome in. And just so you know, I had a friend that just joined the app, and I'm going to give you her name. And her name is Care. And she's a very special lady. And her purpose on here is she does her auctions for disabled artists. She started the foundation, and now she's got a lot of helpers. She's somebody who's come over from YouTube. I tagged her, and here she comes. And she does, they work together. She's got her team. I was talking about you again. And they have a team of ladies and crafters that have come together in an amazing community, and they raise money for people with disabled art abilities, and they help them. You know, they bring them back through. They actually craft with them and stuff, and it's people below the poverty income, and they are amazing people, period. And they do a lot of interaction. They don't just send the supplies and people sit on them. The actual artists create things with them. So it's like teamwork, and it's really awesome. Yes, they're below the poverty level. So if you're not following the disabled artists, please do, because you will meet some fantastic people through them. I'm excited you guys are over here. I'm like so ecstatic that you decided to come over and try out Whatnot, because I love this platform. It's amazing. In the crafting community over here, there are so many great people in the crafting community. Well, in a lot of the communities, but the people that I have met have been so awesome. This one here, I don't know if this book is based off the Scarlet Letter. I'm not exactly sure because I never read this particular book. But this one's called The Scarlet Thread by Francine Rivers, and this book is in really good condition. This is from 1996. It's got like a little bit of discoloration in areas, but still in good condition. Like there's not even like, I don't even know. I mean, I'm sure the book's been read, but it doesn't even look like it's been cracked open according to the spine. But it says, Sierra Madrid, women of the 90s, bold, determined, her life was about to turn upside down. Mary Catherine McGurry, young pioneer on the Oregon Trail, she was filled with anger at being uprooted from her home. Two women, centuries apart, are joined through a tattered journal. Whoa! As they contend with God, husbands, even themselves, until they fall into the arms of the one who loves them unconditionally. A tattered journal. I like books like that. Francine Rivers, best-selling novelist, received the 1995 Rita Award for Best Inspirational Romance, a nomination for the 1995 Gold Medallion in Fiction. Nice. And she lives in California. It tells a little bit about the author. But I like the kind of books that you get that, you know, they'll find journals and then read about them. Or like there was a story, Rebecca, I read once that was really good, where people find it and then there's a story in it, or there's like a ghost in the story. Oh, that's so sweet that she keeps in touch with you. I know my daughter, she sends me text messages. I don't like bothering her too much at work, but she'll get to it when she gets to it. But she's a busy girl. My oldest daughter, Care, has 4 children. 2 are twins, but they're fraternal twins. They don't look alike. One looks like their mom, one looks like the dad. She's just like a mini one. Her one twin's a mini her, and the other twin's a mini her mini husband. They're so funny. And she has to keep up with her sports. Plus, she works full time. And let me tell you, she is one busy mama. I told her I wish I had a little bit of her energy. But sometimes she gets really tired, and here lately she's been tested and her iron's really low. So she has to have some kind of infusions done. But I told her, I don't know how you keep up with them kids. But I never thought I would see the day, you know, because you know the era we were raised in, Care. My one granddaughter plays football. I never thought I would ever say I have a granddaughter that plays football, because most of the time it's always been a boys' sport. And her coach even told her she's got a great catch, and I thought that was so awesome. She had her first football practice. And it's like so funny to say that, because I do have a grandson in football, another in wrestling, because I have 6 grandkids altogether. I have the Brady Bunch. I have 6 grandsons and 6 granddaughters. I mean, 3 of each, I mean. So I have a total of 6 grandkids. But I don't know how my daughter keeps up with her sports, and plus works as a full-time mom, because it's a job. Yep, it is. It really is. Yep. Now you got 5 grandkids. I know I got 6. So what we did, because my husband works so much, it's hard for us to make their birthday parties because he's hardly ever home. My husband's a workaholic. And so what we did this year, I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner, but this year we did something different so that he could actually spend time with them. Because like I told him, I'm not showing up at their birthday parties and you not being there. They want to see their pap too. So I decided to do a date with Nana, because they call us Nana and Pappy. And I said I decided to do a date where they actually get to spend a date with us when he's off. So like we're one behind right now. We got to catch up with the last 3. But when he's off, we plan a special date where they can either accept a gift of money or they can go shopping for their birthday present. And then we either take them out to eat depending on what time of the day it is. If it's dinner time, they get a dinner. It depends on what the kids want to do. Or if it's after dinner, they can go for a snack. So we did this date thing, and it has been so much fun because they actually get to see him, spend time with him, and they get to shop with us and eat with us. So it's like a nice date with Nana and Pappy, and it's been so much fun. It is, because I told him they don't know who you are because they get all these good Christmas presents and they see you around the Christmas holidays, because he does have a good, he saves his vacation days for the end of the year so he actually can have a nice Christmas holiday to get to see the family. But through the year, I mean, I'm serious. There was one time he didn't have a day off for 4 months. Seriously. Because they were so slammed. 4 months. No days off. I told him, I said, that's ridiculous. You need to start scheduling vacation days within that time, because that's too much. And not having a break. That's how much he works. But he loves his job too. So I told him, you're going to have to make time, because we hardly ever get to see their sports or anything. That's because you're never home. And then my dog has been sick off and on, and I can't leave her for hours. So the only time I really get to enjoy my time too is when he's home to spend time with the dog, and then I can go do some stuff. But I have never seen a dog have such a sensitive stomach than the one we have now. I mean, it's just unbelievable what my dog has went through. But we love her too. Yeah, and we don't believe in we're not going to leave her outside. On a nice day, she has a pen, but in this heat, you can't. She is part Labrador and part Staffordshire Bull Terrier, but we've had dogs. Like, let me tell you, in our lifetime, I can't even count how many animals we've had, but I have never seen one who just can't adjust to food. Alito! She gave me a raid. How sweet. Alito, guess who's in here? Disabled Artist came over. I told her about you. And Care, Alito is the one who had the estate sale that had that, because I got more to send you. I haven't sent you all of it yet. She's the one that had the estate sale that I bought off on Whatnot to get you that stationery. This woman loved her stationery. I kid you not. So that's who I purchased from. And I was like, oh, I'm sharing with Disabled Artist. And that's where those box stuff come from. But I still have more on my table for you. I just forgot to mail it because everything with my dog being sick has been stressing. But she's doing good now. But she also has to have her glands drained Yogi. So whenever she's about to have, like when she gets backed up, that's another part of the issue besides her sensitive stomach. And I'm talking like, and I don't mean to be vulgar, but every 10 minutes she's running for the door with diarrhea. That's how bad this gets. So I'm like sleeping on the couch because this is like continuously all day and all night. And I have literally drugged myself outside. I have had put chairs outside to sit outside with her to go to the bathroom. That's how bad this is. So she has a schedule every month where she has to get drained by the vet because gland backups on dogs is horrible. So we go through this with her, and plus she can only eat a certain food. We give her the Chewy's Essentials. She can only eat a specific dog food. She can't do just anything. And then to get her stomach settled, when she gets this bad, I have to go buy chicken and make her a chicken and rice meal. And then that helps her. And then for the next 2 days, she's okay. But every once in a while, I mean, I do have to cook for her to balance her. But I have never had a dog go through this, and it's a nightmare. And I feel for people that go through this, especially if you're full time workers and you're not home with your animal. I couldn't have her caged all day. That wouldn't work for me. That's why I like working from home so I can take care of her. So that's how I deal with her, since she was a puppy. I've only worked away from home once because I do in-home skilled living where I take care of my elderly people. I love my elderly people. But there was one time our jobs conflicted and she was left here and I had to put her in the garage so that she could go to the bathroom and have her accidents. That dog will not have an accident. She will hold it. And that's scary too because it backs her up and that bacteria can hurt her. So I told my husband, when you're working in skilled living and somebody reports off, you're stuck there. Like you don't have a choice until somebody comes in. So I can't just leave patients. So the job after COVID hit, of course, went downhill and then the business was sold because that's another story. But it's hard for me to work away from home with her here because she's just like my kid. And I'm not going to leave her like that, especially when she gets upset stomachs as much as she does. But I baby her very much so. I love her to death. And her face is actually in my Buy It Now. If you click my Buy It Now, you will see her at the top. I actually put, I kind of wanted to do, I didn't want to ask people to buy her treats because I've seen some other sellers do that. So what I did was I put road to 1K sales for $1. And if somebody would do that to help me get to my 1K sales, all that goes into the one treat that she can eat that doesn't upset her stomach. She only has this one little chicken type treat that I give her. All the money to the 1K sales is going to go into her treat bags. But you will also receive probably a random postcard or a sticker sheet. I'm going to send somebody something, because you get when you do that to help somebody to 1K, then you have to get something back because, it automatically does your shipment. So I will send something, and I think I have it set to like 1 to 2 ounces. It'll be something random, but that's what I did for my 1K sales. And her face is right there. She's so cute. She's upstairs. I don't have her come down here because I don't want her hair mixed in with my books, if that makes any sense, or I would show you her on camera. But I do have a TikTok video of her where she doesn't want to get up to go to the bathroom. You should see her face. She's so stinking cute. And I've showed her on my YouTube before too. I have a YouTube channel too. Here, let me show you a picture of her. I have a bunch. But you can see the Staffordshire in her on that picture. Where this part, you'll see the lab more. It's how she holds her ears. But look at that face. There's my baby. That's where you can tell the lab. And I actually found her on the Facebook Marketplace, believe it or not. People kept telling me, the guy that I got her off of told me she was part Gator Pit Bull and part German Shepherd. I said, no, she's not. No offense, but she's lab. I've had labs before. So I actually did her DNA test and sent it to Wisdom. And it said she is part lab and part Staffordshire Bull Terrier. So she doesn't even have Gator Pit Bull in her. Isn't she cute? Look at that face. And she loves her pillow. That came out of a pillow set with a it's a sleeping bag set I got from my husband because he would go camping and hunting with his dad, and she claimed the pillow. She claimed the pillow care. She's like, that's my pillow, Dad. You can't have it. And I listened to some of the stories of people's pets on here, and I think it's so cute because there's one girl was telling us that her dog carries a blanket. I think that's so cute, and they carry the blanket to the yard. And here's her in the winter. She loves the snow. She bounces around like a little banshee in the snow. She's so cute. But we had to splice two pens together for her to have room. So she's got a pen outside. I even have a picture of that somewhere on here too, because I was taking a picture of my tree. I know where it's at this time period. But she has this bunny rabbit. I gotta show you a picture of this bunny. It's a little blurred. Wait a minute. She has this little tag game with this rabbit. We have these bunny rabbits in our backyard. And it hopped to one side of her cage, and then she ran to that side. Then it hopped to her other side of her cage. I mean, they have this game going on, and it's so funny. But it seems like even the wild animals love her outside. She's such a riot. Because I always tell her, don't eat Mr. Bunny. Be nice to Mr. Bunny. And here's a picture of her when she was younger. I love her face. And she always lays with her legs behind her. She kills me. Anyways, oh, here's my three granddaughters, Care. I have to show you my granddaughters. I got my brags up here. Tell me those three faces aren't a trip. That's Layla and that's Livia. Those are the twins, the two on the left, but they're fraternal. And then there's Kylie. That's my three granddaughters. And they're riots too, let me tell you. It's hard to get pictures of them all together. My grandsons are really hard to get pictures of because they never sit still. They're on here somewhere. I think I even have one picture where I managed to get all of them in one picture, which is even a bigger miracle. Angelo, Stephen, and Ethan are my grandsons. Here, best way to get a picture of them. This is about the easiest way. Sorry, because I got to show my grandsons too. It's not fair to leave one out, not the other. Here's a picture of my two grandsons. Look at that hair. That's Steven on the left. He's a wrestler. That's my daughter Kristen in the center. And then to the right is Ethan. Look at that face. Oh my gosh. He's so ornery. Look at that hair. Steven's got some hair. And then my oldest daughter that has the four kids, that's the only two Kristen has. And then this is my oldest daughter. I can get a good picture of her up here. Oh my gosh. So funny looking at the girls when they were younger. Can't believe that both of the boys are 14 already. They grow so fast, for sure. This is Angelo. That's my oldest daughter's son. And he's into football. So that's all my grandkids. And this is my oldest daughter, Jade, with Angelo, and then the two twins in front of them. I don't know where Kylie's at the moment. But like I said, it's hard to get pictures of them all together. Look how sassy Leela is. But yep, that's them. My braggy pictures. That's my family. So at least you know a little bit more about me as a seller too, you know. Busy life. Thank you. Oh, the kids are fun. They wear me out though. I always tell them I wish I could just bottle up a little bit of their energy, you know. I know Jean's got her hands full too. She's got some twins. I love it when I hear twins are born. Okay, now we're going to move to the children's section. And I always have to start Christmas way ahead of time, or I would never have enough gifts. Seriously. So I love Foster Friends Thrift on here because like I said, I got a lot of really cute, stuff for I don't do stockings. I have mailboxes for each kids because they love mailbox mail. And Livia's like she loved this little plastic card set she got and she loved looking at the mailbox. That's where I got the idea from. So I literally bought mailboxes for my grandkids and I have them lined up with their names on them so they come in and get their mailboxes instead of stockings. And it's really cute the way it turned out. And they look forward to it every year. So, and then when they turn of age, they get the mailbox. They'll get to keep it. When they go out on their own and they need a mailbox, that's their mailbox because they're real mailboxes. So I have to fill them up. So I start like I got stuff already, like their mailboxes are done. And then I can focus on other gifts if we want to get them something big to go with the mailbox. So Foster Friends Thrift actually helped me on Whatnot do that because she always has really cute items like little lip glosses and different things you can bid on. And plus it helps a good cause. So the first children's book I had is Trick or Treat or Halloween. This is from 1980 by Sharon Peters. It's a really cute book. Some people like these for the kids. Some crafters like these, especially if they're falling apart. I'm always after books like this falling apart to turn into journals. So there is that book. Kara, did I ever show you the best journal I've ever made? And I still can't figure out how it came out of my brain. I mean, not downing my brain, but sometimes, when you create something, like, where did that come from? Did I ever show you my Gothica journal that I made? I decided to make a journal for everything I learned at that point. And I have showed it a couple times. I don't know if I showed you or not. Oh, thank you. I took everything I had learned as a journal maker since I came to YouTube as a bookstore. I never knew about junk journals or how to make. I call mine crafty journals because they're a mix. But for people who have never seen any of the things I've created, this one here is my favorite. Not because I don't know where goth came from, but because it's the style. And this is probably one of my best creations ever. This is actually tatting that I found at a yard sale. This I bought off of a YouTube seller. I ran this picture through Pinterest and I put secrets inside. And then between the crafters on YouTube and the crafters on here, they're amazing people. It took me a year to create this journal because it was finding the pieces. And I love eyelash trim because it's so spiky and it's cute. And this is why I love charms, because I love taking ball pens and adding beads and charms to the front where the laces are. So you get an idea of what crafters can do. This is actually an upcycled book that fell apart. Some people start from chipboard, but this is actually from a book. And then I put the title in. Some of these this has digitals in it. And some of the pictures are for Pinterest. So some of these are probably copyrighted. So that's why I will never sell this book, because you don't sell copyright. But this was just for myself to see how far I had come as a crafter from everything I've learned, because I used to create animations back on, like, in 2008 on MSN. I used to play with this kind of stuff for fun. And these are all borders I added. I love playing with font styles. And then a lot of this in here is digitals. And then this is just a page I ran off. This, I think, came from Tracy Fox off of YouTube. And this was another digital creation. Some were, this was by randomly looking for digitals off of Google, and then some came from Etsy stores. This one came from an Etsy store. But it's like a variety of artists in here. And then this paper came from, she makes the greatest paper. Her name is Amy, and she's on YouTube. She goes by Hag's Hollow or something like that. I always forget her YouTube channel name, but she actually is in Patreon and sells this in her Etsy store. Her papers are amazing. She not only dyes them, she irons them. So I love using her paper in this. So I put like a little bit of everybody. This is off of a dress that I found in Goodwill. And I literally, it was covered in lace over top of material, and I literally cut it to make the pockets. And then this was off of a digital, but I can't remember if this was a digital or Pinterest picture. Because a lot of the girls I have in here are from Pinterest, but some are digitals too. Look at that cat. And then I think this is a Tracy Fox. Because I go through, Tracy Fox has a lot of vintage looking tickets and things like that in her digital. So, but this was fun because you want different kinds of paper. And this is just Distress Ink swirled. And then there's the Raven. But I took Gothica, and I didn't want the scary side of goth, like the skulls and stuff. I made it romantic. And then these are different trims. But I wanted to incorporate things like, I think my favorite part, making this envelope was fun. This is an actual trim, like a ribbon. And then going back here, the hardest part that I had to come up with, I wanted to incorporate a little more of myself into this book. I had never played with stenciling. This is what this particular book brought out in me, was stenciling and hardware. Because you see a lot of people use like pulls for jewelry boxes and things like that. I use nose rings. I went down a real big rabbit trail because this is actually a picture of a door that I printed. Then I took an X-Acto knife and I cut that open because I wanted to have doors with a secret message in them. And these messages are actually from Pinterest, written by Gothic people. So I wanted to have like a hidden surprise because I like stuff with envelopes with like hidden messages. And I actually did an Advent one time that was Christmas, and it had pockets, and in each pocket was a countdown. So this was a lot of fun, but these are nose rings. That's my hardware. I went down this rabbit trail, like, what can I make look like door handles? And this book really pushed me to my limit. And it took me a year to complete it because I couldn't figure out. And then the stenciling, this is stickles added to the flowers, and this was the stenciling. And I got to play with new products doing this. And I believe this is called Nouveau Mousse. There's like a Pearl Mousse and a Nouveau Mousse where you can do this type. And then on my signatures, I had a punch for butterflies. And I mean, I still sit and I look at this book because it sits in front of me like, where the heck did this come from? Where in my brain did this come from? And it's so funny. And this is why I like cards. For people who see cards under my CLs, I need to find this deck and share some of these cards. But what I do is I buy playing cards with fancy designs. And then I'll share them for $1 for crafters if you want to pick them up, because I'm not going to use the whole deck. And that's actually a card, a playing card. Some of these playing cards I have come to appreciate since becoming a crafter through YouTube and getting to meet the people, is I really appreciate the art, not only in playing cards, but napkins. Like something you wipe your mouth with and you would never think to use as art. Really opened my eyes to some things I would have never thought of, because you can make beautiful decoupage with arts. And this was another stencil. And these crafting places come out with the coolest stuff. Like there's stuff I still have never experimented with. You know, like these glazes and different things you can use. And look, this is another one. I'm gonna have to glue some of these back because they kind of fell off. But this is these are all to do with nose rings and piercings. And then this was another door I cut with a message behind it. This was actually a digital lady. The one that sells the one digital, she doesn't have those anymore on hers, the blue ones. They're really pretty. But some of these are just charms and regular beads on ball pens. And one of them, there's a black cross on here I actually found on a choker at the Dollar Tree. Or not the Dollar Tree, the Family Dollar store. But you'd be surprised at where you can find stuff when you start creating. That's all I see is craft stuff now. Like everything I look at in the stores, I see craft, craft, craft. I don't see things normal anymore. This is another tag from a digital. But it just, and it goes on. And then here's the other card. This is the cross I found. My ball pin come open. This was on a choker. But there's the blue card that matches the red deck. But look how cool this cross is. Off of a choker. And I thought, well, this would be cute to add to the edition. Looks like the the bottom of the cross broke. Which it might have, because this book fell once. Where I had it sitting. It fell forward, so it might have broke it. I'll have to replace that. But it was just so much fun to just dig into your talent. That was definitely a Pinterest picture. And then this is the one I can't get a hold of anymore. I have this digital set, but she doesn't. She closed it. She got into a fight with PayPal or something, and she don't sell anymore. That came from Etsy. And then here's another door. Look how pretty these doors are. I just cut them open. But it just goes on, and then I finished it. But I had so much fun stenciling with different products. And then, look how pretty this is. I love music. I love these. Look at this, was a digital. Gorgeous, gorgeous digitals. And one thing that's nice about digitals is you can print them over and over once you buy them, where a paper line you got to keep buying. You know, that's what I like about the digital aspect. And then somebody said, well, digitals aren't original, but they are, because no two people are going to create the same journal even out of digitals. So I like them both. And then there's horses on that one. Because we all have different visions, no matter how you look at it. Even through the paper lines, I don't see two journals that look alike. Look how pretty this one turned out. I added some glitter glue for sparkle. But I had fun stenciling and just doing a variety of different things with this one. And then somebody sent me this on material, so I added that picture. And then look how pretty that. I love charms. I think charms are so gorgeous. And you can find charms in broken earrings. Say you don't like bangles, you can take the charms off of them. I find charms in so many things. But there's the picture. And that's it. And I love the name that I picked for this because it's with a K. And it says a term for a situation in which someone sees or feels things that no one else can. Kind of reminds me of kind of an empath saying, but she's a big one. And because this was a hidden signature, I had to sew. My biggest fear on this was the signatures would fall out. So I took a glue, not super glue, but what's that other glue? There's another glue, and I glued it, and it still didn't hold it in. So I had to sew here, and I had to sew here before putting this on to get the signatures to hold in the hidden signature. Because if you use the signature on the outside, you have this part to help you hold. But a hidden signature, you don't have this part because the signatures aren't coming through. So you have to be really careful on the hidden signature, how heavy your signatures are, unless you sew them like I did. But this was a lot of fun, very challenging, and took a year. I don't know how people pump them out fast, but I can't. It takes me a while. But that is one of my journals, and I do love creating them because they are a lot of fun. But I also enjoy creating the ephemera. And I miss crafting because I've been really into books. Yes, Gorilla Glue Jupiter, exactly. And welcome into the people I missed. Hold on. Let me scroll back because I try not to miss anything. Yes, it was a lot of signatures, Care. Thank you. I was scared to death on this one because I just couldn't find the right pieces, and it took me forever. Me too. I still have your Adori style. I got that off of you when you did the Adori style too. Thank you so much, Jupiter. And then another one I had done. Now this one here is simpler, but I have made custom. I tend to like doing customs so much. This is one I just did with ripped pages. This, I think Jean made this. Somebody from Defy made this, Care, because I added this dangle. I love this. This is absolutely beautiful, and it was perfect. Now, mind you, this is why I tell you all to look underneath your jackets of your books. This is not paper. This is the actual cover of a Reader's Digest. Reader's Digest come in one full color, or you can get them to look like this. So I had a hold of this when I tried to sell it. Nobody wanted it. So I said, I'm turning it into a journal. So I added this and I added this, but the rest of this is the original book cover. That's the original cover. So you'd be surprised at the cover of books out there that are stunning. So I wanted to make a St. Patrick's Day because I found out in my DNA I have Irish because my grandfather was Irish. So I kind of did this in his memory. And I just bought stickers and turned it into a journal. And sometimes in the Reader's Digest, you will have pictures already in it. So you got to be careful on the pages you rip out because sometimes they have pictures you want to keep. Sometimes they have poems. Like this paper here, I thought was cute on this page. So all I did, and these are my dyed pages. I don't go as deep as Amy does, but my pages I dye. And then this is pages I had pulled out of the book. I returned and put them back in the book as an envelope and double layered. And this is actually a little journaling card. And then these are what I call my peekaboo pockets. These are pages that are bent down and then I glued back into the book. And then that's my coffee dyed paper. And then this is just a page I colored. You can do random. And then when you flip through this, I had so much fun. I actually have a template for this book that I created as I was making it. And like this was a page already in the book, so I left it. It's a couple kids and a cat, birds and trees. And then as you go through, this is a 3-tiered pocket. Now this is a digital that I bought off of an Etsy person. So I was able to print these tags and cut them out. And I turned it into a 3-layer. And then this was something, I don't remember. Some of these I found on Oriental Trading that were stickers, and some I just found random. And then look at those. 2 little pockets right here on the side. I had fun making these. And then here's another one. But these are the kind of things the crafters do. This is a napkin. This is what I mean by appreciating napkins. If you tear the layers, like if it's a 2-ply or a 3, take the layers off. And then you can decoupage it and the words come through. And how cool is that? And not only this, the pages that are left over, you can stamp and do the same thing. So nothing goes, let's look at these. I think I found these on the website and I had to add them because they're goofy looking. But the pieces, I think, is the fun part. Like what you add. And then, of course, I love brads. And I never knew they were called brads. And neither did Printy Corn. We laugh at this so hard. I always called these pokey pens. Because I didn't know they were called brads. And she called them push pens. She had a name for them, too. And I said, I found out these were brads through YouTube. Because I didn't know how to look them up. I kept saying pokey pens. And I couldn't find them. So now I know these are brads. And I love them. Because these are cute to add to accent. And then these are just cut out, fussy cutted. But these are things you can do with books to upcycle. If you have a favorite book with a favorite cover and they're falling apart or whatever, and I even took and cut this page around this picture to keep it, you can have so much fun creating a book out of a book. This is my little side tuck. Little leprechaun with a big long beard. And then here, this here came from Oriental Trading. I backed it with my dye paper. That's actually a postcard that you can buy from Oriental Trading, and you can turn it into a little crafty. But these are what we do as crafters with books, and I love this. I can't tell you how many books I had come through my store falling apart, and I never thought to use the book board to upcycle because I never knew these existed. And then this is a belly band. Now, when I do my belly bands, I always like putting a piece of paper under it so that it holds the pieces. That's just something I like to do. And then that's a page from the book. And then this was already in the Reader's Digest. Oh, you see that? There's my Defy pen care. That's what I was writing with in it. Is a girl, a lady, and a boy, and I left that picture in it. And then this, I never knew until meeting Penguin Boss on here. They had such things as leather postcards. She sells leather postcards, and I love it. But this was a leather, just something, you know, you can use to put in your book, like a bookmark. Glenwood Springs, Colorado, and it's so soft. So I have that as my bookmark. And then these are some of the rest of the pages. I have my coffee dyed. I tea dye. I red dye. I food coloring dye. Whatever I can dye and get my hands on goes in my book. And that's like a little side up tuck. Like I said, you turn them into your own writing journals, or you can turn them into glue books. You can do anything you want. This could even be a painting book if you want it to be. I'm a writer, so I like writing. But you can turn them into whatever you want. These are what I call my favorite side pocket envelopes. I'll take little pieces of paper and make these envelopes. And then turn them sideways and make them little pockets and then decorate the edges. And let me tell you, I can do a real quick tutorial on how to make one of these. If you guys want to see it. Look at the teeth on that one. I I love these faces. They're so corny. They're cute. But I just went through and everything I found, and then the pictures that I liked, I left in. And just like these were kids that I cut around and left the pictures in the books. And then here's a great big tag, but you get the idea. You just go through and decorate them however you want. But a real good tutorial on how to make my little envelopes is real fast. It's actually on my Crafty Styles on YouTube. Is you take a book page. I always have book pages near me. And what I do is I cut the words. I'm a left-hander, so if it looks backwards to you, sorry. Because I am backwards, being a lefty. It's nothing to do with putting down lefties. I do things backwards all the time. I catch myself. So I cut the bare pieces off so that I have just the words. But what I do is I fold tip to tip like this. And then I cut this off. Then I flip it over and I cut this. So you get a little bit of a crafty demonstration while I'm sitting here too. And you can even use these in mixed media. Then when you open it, it'll look like that. So then all you have to do is put the point to where I folded it, turn it over, put the point to where I folded it again, and then turn it this way. And there you go. You got yourself a cute little envelope that you can turn sideways. And it's that easy. Then I'll take my glue, my handy dandy glue. It's probably clogged by now because I haven't used my glue in a little bit since I've been selling books from my bookstore. I'd like to get back into crafting again, but right now I can't. I just don't have the time right this second. But I will eventually because I miss it. My big shot sits in front of my TV, so I'm always doing something. So you just take this, put a little dot of glue right there, put a little glob of glue over top, and then go there. This is how I put them together. Then I go and make a line here, make a line here, fold it up. And if you want to distress it, I would recommend doing it before you glue it, but you can distress it with the different colors and turn it into like different colors. And that's when I have, like say I want to do red. And I don't know where my little tool is off the top of my head, but I will tell you something else that works. You can get these real cheap. They're little makeup ones. I don't know where my tool is. I have one of the like Tim Holtzy looking tools, but you can take a makeup brush across your distress ink and pick up some. These you can actually work better sometimes after they're folded and just do this. But I will tell you this, these make great blending brushes. You'd be surprised at the makeup tools that will save you money. Just push this down some. And there you go. Get yourself a cute little envelope. I might add this to a Christmas one later. Isn't that cool? I love shortcuts and sweet little things. So that's that. One of these days I will get back into crafting more again because I do miss it a lot. And plus I don't want my stuff to all dry up because I got a lot of paint in my mixed media composition notebook. I haven't finished this yet and I need to do it. But I started this in a composition book and this is playing Junk mail. You'd be surprised at your junk mail and what you can find. Stenciling and just playing in paint. I love playing in paint. And these are like magazine cutouts. There's my horse page. I love my horses. And then autumn. Fall's my favorite season. And then here's Christmas. You can have so much fun with so many different styles of art. I like playing in everything. I don't think I have a favorite. I like the journals to play in paint. Like I said, there's the little book pages like I just showed you. What I just cut up doesn't have to go to waste. You can tear around it and add it right into your mixed media. Okay, I got to finish my books. I don't want my dog being upstairs on the pee-pee dance because I'm taking forever. But I got this pen off at Defy. These are nice pens. And I use them to write in my journals. And then, okay. It's hard when you get into crafting to get out of it because I can talk about crafting all day. So here is the Runaway Valentines. And this is a cute little book from 1994. I love everything artsy. Like I said, when I see stuff, I see art in everything. I appreciate people who do art for sure, of any kind. All right, Care. I'm glad you got to stay. Care. I know. I shouldn't apologize for being a lefty, but, you know, I just do things backwards. Like when I watch somebody crochet, I have to do it like Indian style facing them. Because if I don't, I would mess up the stitches. So here is the Runaway Running. Hey, Care Bear. Hey, Vitamint. Welcome in. If you see any books in the auction, please feel free to let me know. And I can show it to you or rent it. And thanks everybody for your purchases. You're all awesome for coming in, listening to me read the synopsises and all that happy stuff. So that's the Valentine's one. The next we have, this one's cute. The Zoobles Spring to Life, a talent mix-up show. It's got some writing in it. Somebody named Sam. A little bit of marker rating. This is actually from 2012. Ignore that's my cheat sheet. And you get the Zoobles. Cute little colorful kids book. And the little animals in here are so cute. Makes me want to have a stuffed one. They're so cute. So this is the Zoobles. And it is running. Hey, Cole, where'd he go? Was he in here and I missed him? I probably did. Let me get back here. Aw, I miss Cole. He modded for me last week. He was really nice. Okay, so the next book we have. This one here is for the people who love Halloween. This is the Berenstain Bears and the Ghost of the Forest. This is actually from 1988. I know there's a lot of Halloween people on here, and this is a really cute Halloween story. And if you're looking for a favorite author, please feel free to let me know. And I will put your name down and tag you whenever I come across them. I have a list for some people. Okay, reading that one. So next we have the Valentine's Day Grump. I think this one's funny. This is in pretty good shape. And he is grumpy. And this is a 1981. So if you like a grumpy Valentine person, there you go. And hey to my YouTube people! I hope you all are having a great night. Hey Lisa, welcome in. Welcome in, Mile High. Okay, the next book we have I tried to get some holiday books in case people needed stuff before they get here. This is the best Valentine book. It's ABC Adventures. It's got somebody's name in it, but other than that, it is so cute. And this is from 1985. And this one here is another cute Valentine book called Secret Valentine, Guess Who? And this is from 1988. Another cute little colorful story. So there is this one. It's nice having a different type people and different that come into the streams and stuff. Meeting new peeps for sure. And then here is this one here is adorable. I think this is cute. I debated keeping this on my crafty shelf. But this one here is called My Dog Laughs. I think this is so funny. By Rachel Isadora. And it is so stinking cute. It's like all these little dogs and all these little kids playing with their pooches. So it's a cutie patootie from 2018. My dog purrs. She literally has a dog purr. And it's so cute. She sounds like she's rumbling. What does your dogs do? You have to let me know in the comments. Or comments on YouTube, messages over here. You have to tell me what your dog does that's special. Mine purrs. I swear she does. So the next one is called Otis and the Kittens by Lauren Long. And if you're a cat lover and a farm animal lover, you will love this book because it is really cute. And this is from 2016. Welcome in, Jessica. Hey, Fiery Storm. Right now, I'm running children's books. For anything you see in the auction, please feel free to let me know if you want to see a book. And then the next one we have in the children's section, and this is the last one for running tonight, is Valentine Foxes by Clyde Watson, pictures by Wendy Watson. Of course, it's got that discarded in it I don't like. This is like a library kept book because it's taped up and it's got a little pocket back here. This is from 1989. So it definitely has some issues in it, but it's a cute book. The story itself, there's nothing wrong with the pages. Look how cute that is. So there is that one. And then the last section we have tonight will be the educational section, which is interesting, especially this one book. I haven't read it, but it looks interesting. But when I have read a book, I'll let you know, and I'll tell you what I think of it. So this is my kids' books. Oh, I just dropped one. Let's put this over here. And then we will get started in the educational ones. But the one that I actually find interesting is the one on top. I don't know if this is the Carnegie out of Pittsburgh or not, because there is a Carnegie up there. It says How to Win Friends and Influence People. The phenomenal bestseller that is helping millions find success and happiness. And he was a businessman too. And it's definitely an older book. This was written in 1964. And it has like a little bend right there. But other than that, it's pretty good for its age. It says what his book will do for you. Get you out of a mental rut, give you new thoughts, new visions, new ambitions, enable you to make friends easily, increase your popularity, help you win people to your way of thinking. I like to see that happen. Increase your influence, your ability to get things done, enable you to win new clients, new customers, increase your earning power, make you all the better salesman, a better executive, help you to handle complaints, avoid arguments, keep your human contact smooth and pleasant, make you a better speaker, a more entertaining conversationalist, make the principles of psychology easy for you to apply in your daily contacts, and help you arouse enthusiasm among your associates. So, this could work for us on here, maybe. I don't know. As a seller, he might have some good tips. So, that is the Carnegie book. I don't know. It said he was from a Missouri farm, so maybe it's not the same one. Interesting. Sometimes people look for business books on how to become a better businessman too. I've had people order books like that before. I don't know if it worked out for them or not, but it seems interesting. This one here is kind of a cross between, I didn't know if I should put it in the educational or the military. So I went ahead and stuck it into the educational. And this is called The Fall of Saigon, Scenes from the Sudden End of a Long War, because I guess it could be both. This is by David Butler, and it definitely has photographs in it. This is from 1985. There's a little bit where it's coming apart on the back. But other than that, you can tell it's been read by the crease. And it says, NBC News reporter David Butler was there. He witnessed the apocalyptic departure of the U.S. from the rooftops of Saigon, the passionate end of a war that divided America for a decade. Now he recreates the pulse and feel of the climatic event and the tumultuous weeks before it had marked the collapse of Vietnam, with a book so powerful, so immediate, that it reads with the authority of the best history and the excitement of great fiction. So there is that one. I think I put it under education because it was written by a journalist. It wasn't actually a war veteran. Because most of my military books, I try to keep them more towards, I don't know, you just have to see the books to understand. But it's mainly written by the people who were there as, I guess you would say a soldier, than just to write about it through a different point of view. So that's why this one's under education, and my real military is by real military people. Hey, Heller, welcome back. And then the next book I have under educational is, let's see here. This one here is old, and it is really beat up. This is probably one of my poorest looking books today because it's so old. Let's see, it is really dark around the edges, but this is the Guinness World of Records from 1977, and it has some stainage. It's got the black rating in it. But like I said, I only use bookstores, so you're going to have this. 1977 by Norris and Ross McWhirter. But look, I mean, it has been used. Very well loved. But it's got a lot of facts in it, and all the pages are intact. None are ripped, none are missing. And it is a really cool collectible, I think, just to have if you're interested in this type of topic. Even with the damage in it, I think it's a cool book. But that's just me. I don't mind some damage in some of my books. It depends on what type of book it is and why I'm collecting it. Like if I continue to pass it on, to me it doesn't matter. But then again, I keep books with damage too, so it doesn't matter. But some of these books are just falling apart because of age. And if we threw away all the books that had something wrong with them, we probably wouldn't have any books from the 1800s left. And hello, my YouTube people. I hope you're having fun over there. And sorry I can't talk to you yet. I will get a multitasker computer soon. Hey, Samwise. Welcome, welcome. And I'm a babbler, and I do like to talk. So if you like somebody mute, you won't like me. And then the next one I have is called The Rise of Silas Lapham by William Dean Howells. This kind of reminds me of educational because it looks kind of literish. But I had to put it under poor because this is coming apart right there. But it is from 1965. It's old like me. And there's some writing or some stampage or something. So it is old. But like I said, you know, there's some people on here don't like it unless it's like slightly used. But then we wouldn't have no historical books left because they do get worn. And this says, in 1885, when William Dean Howells' The Rise of Silas Lapham was first published, the New York Times reported the great American novel had at last been written, and Henry James himself said that he squealed with pleasure over every word of it, choosing a self-made Yankee millionaire as his hero. Howells eschewed, what a word, eschewed, I don't think I ever heard of that one. The popular romance and the realistically chronicled a businessman's rise and fall against a richly detailed background of upper-class life in the late 19th century Boston. As Howell observed him, Silas was essentially a man of goodwill whose strength, his determination, his industry, and his strong ethical sense were as much part of his simple beginnings as were his social faults. His brashness and lack of cultivation. Howell's portraits of Silas was sympathetic, while sympathetic, was of the whole man description of his career was the first realistic treatment of the social and moral conflicts between the old and new orders. In an industrializing America, it was this adherence to realism that brought the book to its immediate recognition and so greatly influenced the later development of American fiction. Okay, so we're going to do this when I do this because I'm kind of interested in some of these words. Maybe with each of my live sales, let's find a word that we don't know. Well, at least I don't know what it means. So we'll look it up and learn a new word. So the word of the day. Where was it? Eschewed. Let's look this up. I want to know what this word means. Okay. So we're going to Google it. Meaning of eschewed. And hopefully Google tells the truth. Because sometimes, you know, you can't trust what Google says either. But usually they have a dictionary. So we're good. Eschewed. 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 Okay. Deliberately avoiding using abstain from. He appealed to the crowd to eschew violence. So I would kind of take it as kind of avoid. Yes. Deliberately avoid it. If you eschew, ESCHEW something, you are deliberately avoiding it. And darn, I thought it was something to do with food because it had chew in it. But, anyways, we learned a new word today. So if I eschew you, it means I'm avoiding you. Sorry, I can't help it. I love new words. This is hysterical. Okay, back to the auction. Hey, Chinquin. I'm up here having fun. I'm finding new vocabulary words. How are you? So that's the word of the day. I'm going to put it out here. The word of the day is eschewed. Did you ever hear of eschewed? I never heard of eschewed, but I know it now. I can't wait to see somebody's face when I say I eschew you and know what I'm talking about. Okay, so the next book is a true story that became a national seller called Nurse. The True Story of Mary Benjamin RN by Peggy Anderson. And this is what the book looks like. Somebody even wrote in it. It's from 1978. I have seen people put grocery lists and stuff in books. It just kills me. But yeah, somebody wrote something in there. But this is what this is about. And there's a sticker covering. The shocking, inspiring, surprise bestseller Nurse is a story of 8 weeks in the life of a nurse in a large urban hospital. It's all here. The joy and pain, the death and drama, the mistakes, successes, and secrets. Nurse reads like a novel but sticks in the memory like a real experience because it is Nurse, the true story of Mary Benjamin RN. And I feel like this belongs in the educational section for that reason. And there's a little bend right there. But if you know a nurse, that'd be the perfect gift. The Howells book, I'll have to look it up. I might have them a little out of order. Look at you. You can be my you be in my book police. You can be my book police. Let me see, where was that at? What did I miss? The Howells book. Hmm. I don't even see it. I'm a looking, I'm a looking, I'm a looking. War Clouds, Pegasus. Those are all the westerns. Subjects. The Death of a Cookbook by Lee Hollis. Is that what you're talking about? I auctioned that. Let me see. Oh, the one just before this one? Hold on. I'm looking. I'm looking. Okay, I did the kids' books. They probably are out of order. I did the Dale Carnegie one. I did the Fall of Saigon. I did the Guinness World of Records. I did the Rise of Silas. And I did the Nurse. I don't see the one you're talking about. Yeah, I did that one. I just did it. This one, that's the one I got the word is shoot off of. Or didn't it run? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Hold on, maybe my app's frozen. Give me a second. Well, there it is. Well, thank you. Well, sometimes my app will freeze. I do have to pay attention to that. I got to talk and I wasn't paying attention. Thank you for your purchase. But I have sometimes it freezes and I'll go to hit it and it won't do anything. Like I get the yellow button and then I have to close the app and reopen it. So I might have forgot to run this one. You know us gabbers, we get to gab and pay attention, and we should. But I do go back and try to read my chat. But every once in a while, it's funny because even my text will disappear and other people can see it, but I can't. So I have to close the app and come back, and then I'm like, okay, there it is. Because I don't want to repeat myself like 15 times and people thinking I'm spamming their chat. Okay, so we will make sure we run the nurse just to be sure. But thank you for your purchase. Just to make sure this ran because I wasn't paying attention. So what I like to do is read the synopsis so you get an idea and show the book. Then I try to come back while the time's running, like I'm trying to organize to be able to talk to the people in the stream while the 30 seconds is going. Hey, Fiery Storm, welcome back. I like how people make IDs to sound a certain way. Instead of using fiery like F-I-R-E, the PH is cute. Some people have a really great way of making IDs on here. But I think my favorite ID I've seen on here is my wife spends too much on whatnot. I saw that ID and I had to die laughing. I just thought that was hysterical. Now these two next books kind of go hand in hand. I didn't realize it when I was logging them. I probably could have bundled these, but if people don't want the second one, they don't have to take it. But we have the story of Churchill. I actually sold the first under crafting. I had the envelopes. It's the first time that they're mailed. I had Winston Churchill and somebody bought it. But this is his life, his death, his wit and wisdom, written by the staff of the New York Times, which I find that very interesting. And then this has got a little bend, and then there's a little mark back here. I have to say, sadly, I don't know enough about Winston Churchill, but I know he was pretty famous in his own country. This was written in 1965. And this is like about his life and his pictures. And I mean, there's pictures throughout it. It looks like a really cute book. And this is just all his things. It says, in death, the world remembers and pays tribute, including the historic account of the circumstances surrounding his death, a summary of the reactions of the mourning world, with statements by famous world figures on the greatness of Churchill. From his birth at Blenheim Palace to leadership of Britain in the Second World War. And I guess I should know some of this stuff. It's hard for me to keep up track with other country people, but I do have British in my blood too. My ancestry is muddish. I have German, Irish, and Great Britain. So I'm a mixture. But this looks like a good book. And then the next one kind of pertains to him too. Well, thank you. Thank you for your purchase. I see you like history too. Welcome in, Ramanali. I'm probably butchering your name, sorry. First issue, is that what it's called? First issue or something like that. That's what those envelopes are called. And then this one is another book. And the reason why I didn't pay attention, because it says Young Winston. I didn't, because it didn't have Churchill in it. And I was like, and then I realized who it was about. This is really beat up. Like it's got 15 cents written on it. And then somebody wrote down there and they marked it up really good. So I said, it's kind of poorish looking. But this is written differently. And that's why I kind of wanted to leave it separate, but then I didn't know if I should bundle it or not, but it's got like a water stain in it. This is written like a screenplay, and it actually has characters, which is really cool. It's got all the characters in the book and then the screenplay to it, but it also has pictures of factual things. And it says, good screenplays make good films, and Carl Foreman has written the best. And this is called Young Winston. It tells the fascinating story of Winston Churchill's childhood and early manhood, the misery of his school days, the lack of affection from his glamorous parents, the joy of first love, his reckless courage under fire. It creates a legendary adventure during the Boer War and his triumphant initiation into the political arena. India, the Soudan, South Africa, a vast canvas, a thrilling story, and now a magnificent film. This was from 1972. So yeah, it's beat up, but it also looks like a good read to go with his story. And even though that some of these books might be valued higher because they're, I go by the condition they're in and what I would pay for them is how I price my books. I mean, what can I say? I'm not a capitalist, people. But some of these books might be older and beat up, but sometimes they're valuable like this. But this is his younger days. And look how young he looked. And even though it's a screenplay, it's still a true story about his life. But I do like to mention the flaws because you never know. I have a friend that calls the flaws schmutz. And then the next book we have this lady here. This is called The Dark Side of the Light Chasers by Debbie Ford. Reclaiming your power, creativity, brilliance, and dreams. And then this is what this book looks like. Dark around the page edges because of the age, from 1998. And then this says, why do we find ourselves disproportionately angry with the selfishness of a friend, the laziness of a coworker, the arrogance of a family member, or even the rudeness of a stranger? Why do the same old things get us so easily and so intensely? Our same old things, Debbie Ford explains, are clues to our dark sides and to the emotions and traits that we fear most in ourselves. In this enlightening guide, she explains how consciously or unconsciously we hide and deny our dark sides, rejecting these aspects of our true natures rather than giving ourselves the freedom to live authentically. Here she shows that it is possible to acknowledge and accept our so-called weaknesses, and that in the fact those qualities may prove to be important hidden strengths, perhaps a touch of laziness or just the workaholic needs, perhaps some judicious selfishness, can save us from exhaustion and resentment. Because it's very stressing when we get stressed out by other people and the things they do. Through the illuminating stories and practical exercises in this book, Debbie Ford shows us how to reconcile our darker impulses, find the gifts they offer, and reclaim our wholeness once again. Seems like a very peaceful book. Finding your peace again. Welcome in, J. King. And M.M. Winrot. We'll just call you M&Ms. I like M&Ms. Foster Friends Thrift came on. We need to get some more people in here so we can do a raid. I love reading her streams. She's so sweet. So that is that book. And then the next educational one we have is called Creating Health, Ageless Body, Timeless Mind by Deepak Chopra, MD. I probably just butchered his name, but I tried. His is in pretty good condition. It's a 1991 book. It's got a little crease in the spine, so at least you know it was read. And then this one says, this is the first in which Deepak Chopra created a new understanding of health and illness and healing power of the mind. He is considered a preeminent spokesman for the 6,000-year-old tradition of healthcare from India. Believe me, some of the healthcare from India is pretty interesting. And he blends Eastern and Western medical philosophy to provide a clear, rich view of the road to perfect health, a balance of mind, body, and spirit. He is the former chief of staff of a New England Memorial Hospital, and he was appointed to the National Institutes of Health ad hoc panel on alternative medicine. Very interesting. I'm always looking for new stuff medically, especially if I don't got to take any pills. I hate taking medicine. That's just me. It's just, ugh. I have a hard time remembering vitamins. So that's his book, if anybody is interested in this particular person. And I'll have one more book, and then we got to invite some people in here to raid Spaghetti. I want to raid Foster Friends Thrift. I got to get some people in here to do it because I just think she's awesome. So the next book we have, and the last book of the evening, I actually loved this class when I was in high school. I don't know why, but I did. Is Basic Economics. And for the date of how old this book is, it actually is in really good condition. It's the 3rd edition by Thomas J. Halstones. Look at the inside of that. Almost reminds me of a business envelope. And this is from 1968. So I'm like shocked at how really good, but you can tell it's an older book. Look at that. This reminds me of high school. All this cute stuff on economics. It's got tables and charts. Look at that. Woo! Those charts are so cool looking. I can't help it. I still see craftiness even in the craziest books. But it is in good condition for the age, for sure, for people that like to collect old books. Some people do like the older types. I think I even have one with shorthand, not shorthand. Diagramming sentences somewhere, but I owe that to somebody because I already promised that person a long time ago. I just can't find it. It got misplaced with my water issues. But all the pages. I know it might be weird, but when I was a kid, I loved sniffing new books. I would be like, oh, the smell of a brand new book when you opened it. That's my fetish. Okay. And that's this book. Hey, J. King. So let me get some people in here. I'm going to see if I can get Kara back in here. We got to do a raid. I didn't get to see Jen in here today. Who else popped in? Let's get Prinny Corn in here. She's still awake. Who else? Oh, Outletto. See if I can get him in here. Hey, Papa Bear. I got a raider with more than one person. Come on, come back. Who all's in here? Sometimes the numbers are messed up. A Heller 52, get back in here. Miss Mike. Hey, L. Smith, welcome in. If you know anybody, please invite them in. I want to raid foster friends. I'm trying to get some more people in here so I can do a raid. I don't know who all's on. I want a raid. I'd like to at least have a few people, though. Everybody matters. You don't know anybody? Let me see if I get another person. At least if I have a few people. A Heller 52. A, you know who Foster Friends Thrift is? We'll get A Heller in here. Don't leave yet. I'll try to get a couple people in here and see if they'll come in. And who else was in here? There was A Heller. Chingwin. See if Chingwin will come in too. Firestorm, you're here. Stay here. Chinquin, Chinquin. Come on, people, come back. Philly Flipper, stay here. You ready? Let's get ready to do a raid. Stay with me. I'm trying to get people in here to do a raid with at least a few people. Do you know who Foster Friends Thrift is? Oh, somebody left. Get back here. Get back here. I chase people down. I see two people in here. Who all was in here? I know I'm here. Okay, we got 3. Are you guys ready? I don't see who entered, so my whatnot must be frozen. We're getting ready to raid Foster Friends Flips. So if you see, go say hello, Spaghetti, because that's who we're going to raid. Here we go. Whee!